Megan and I are trying to decide if we want to do away with the mics. Yeah. You think we do need it? You need mics?
Can you hear me? Yes, sort of. Okay, good. Okay.
We're going to be hopping up and down. It's good to see you guys. Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
Folks over there in the vendor section, feel free to come join us. We're getting ready to get started over here on our school track. I'm Lisa Danany, and this is my partner Meghan Lally. We are with a company called Inna Wellness. We do yoga and mindfulness education programs here in the DC area. And guys, come on over and join us if you're over at the tables so that we're not competing with you. Come on over. Thank you. So Megan and I both have a background in teaching. So how many of you are teachers? We feel your pain. We have been there before. And over the last 20 years, I have worked on coming up with ways to sort of bring myself calm and bring calm in the classroom. And Megan is a museum educator and worked with me for a number of years in coming up with curriculum that really offered multidimensional learning for kids. And so what we want to bring to you today is an interactive experience that you can bring into your classroom, that you can bring into a yoga studio, that you can bring into almost anywhere. That's going to give you the opportunity to feel a little bit more focused and balanced, and hopefully give that same experience to your students with minimal space, minimal materials, and the goal of inspiring creativity. So we're going to go ahead and get started. We want to keep this comfortable, so feel free to join us on the floor. You're welcome to stay in a chair as well. We're going to do some things in a little bit that may need the floor. So Megan and I are believers that creativity and learning are only possible when the mind and the body are balanced. When we're in this place where we can switch from outward experiencing to inward noticing. And when we look inward, that we can find a secure place from which to connect with our inner selves, and that's where creativity is at its source. So in our session today, we know you guys are tired. It's been a really long day, but we don't want to shortchange you on any of it. Our goal is to explore the connection between meditation and creativity, how to inspire creativity in our students, how to direct awareness and enhance focus to tune into that creativity, and to also help us connect with our inner selves. We're going to do some work with color and some work with some materials. So the idea is to continue to focus inwards and at the same time balance that mind and body, the right and left sides of the body, because we know the right and left sides of the brain and body are both really important to facilitating focus and bringing us to a creative space. So go ahead and find a comfortable seat, whether it's in a chair or on the floor. Maybe it's with your legs tucked under you, an easy sitting pose, or some other seat. We're going to begin the process of letting go of everything that's come before this moment and bringing ourselves into this present space. So feel free to look down at the floor or close your eyes. Know your spine really long, and then relax your shoulders. Let your shoulder blades spread like wings along your back, wide and soft. Take a big breath in through your nose and sigh it out through your mouth. Another big breath in and sigh it out. Let it go. And one more time, big breath in, sigh it out. Let it go. Make any adjustments you need to feel comfortable. Beginning to let go of the outside surrounding you. Just notice your breath. Begin to notice sounds. Sounds right closest into you, maybe your breath, maybe something moving in front of you or around you. Bring your awareness to a little bit farther out around you, maybe the sounds of people coming in and out of the room, in the air, maybe other sounds, maybe vibrations. Maybe you're starting to tune into the energy of the room. In a moment, I'm going to ring a bell. I'm going to invite you to just listen and allow yourself to receive that sound physically and energetically. Let the sound come to that space between the right and left sides of your mind and your body to bring you to a centered space. Keeping the eyes closed with the gaze soft. Body still. Bring your one hand in front of your face, just a few inches in front of your face. Relax your shoulders. And bring the thumb to one side of the nose and maybe your pinky or ring finger to the other side. Let the hand rest softly there, perhaps the middle fingers on the forehead. Notice your breath. And the next time you exhale, close the right nostril and breathe out through the left nostril. Breathe in through that left nostril and switch over, opening the right side, closing the left, and exhaling. Inhale the right side. Go back over to the left, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale, inhale, switch, exhale. Keep going at your own pace from one side to the other. And as you establish a rhythm, see if you can lengthen the breath and slow it down. Slowing down the inhale, slowing down the release and the exhale. If you lose your place, just go back to one side or the other. Exhale, inhale, switch. Engaging in this alternate nostril breathing, also known as Nodi Shadna, can help to balance the body and the brain on the left and right sides. Just a few more moments. Breathing out and in on one side, and out and in on the other. Now gradually, on your next exhale, breathe out through both nostrils. Take a breath in through both nostrils and let your hands come to rest in your lap. Take a deep breath in and sigh it out. Let it go. Take a moment to notice where your focus is. Notice if you're more aware of the things inside or outside. And then slowly open your eyes. Bring your arms out by your sides. Take a big breath in. Fill yourself up with breath. As you breathe out, bring your hands down in front of your heart. And then bring your hands in front of you. Come onto your hands and your knees. And we're going to come into a series of yoga movements to continue working on balancing the right and left sides of the body and the brain. So if at any point in this yoga series your body doesn't feel like it wants to do what we're suggesting it do, keep yourself safe. With the kids, we never have to worry. We always know that. So we're going to start in our eggshells, because today we are sitting in a little nest and we are going to be birds. We are centering ourselves and feeling the peace of being little birds. So to come into your eggshell, you're going to sit back on your heels. If that doesn't work for you, bring your forearms on the floor and keep your hips lifted. Otherwise, bring your belly towards your thighs and let your forehead rest on your forearms or on the floor. And imagine you are a tiny little bird hiding in an egg. Your shell is surrounding you and you feel secure, comfortable, so peaceful and calm. You know, though, that you have an important job to do. You need to grow. You need to grow into a little bird. So in this little eggshell, you take deep breaths to grow strong. And imagine what it's going to be like to grow big and to be brave. So imagine yourself now brave and strong. And then slowly lift your head up just a little bit to make a little tiny beak out of your mouth. And imagine you're still inside that shell and you're going to crack open the shell with your breath and you're going to go. So make little tiny breaths. Imagine you're cracking your shell open. And the shell starts to crack as you breathe bigger and bigger. And then slowly start to sit up. Take a big breath in and reach your arms up. And as you breathe out, stretch over to one side, pressing that eggshell away. And come up to the other side and press that eggshell away. Stretch it out. Imagine you're getting to move for the first time out of this little shell. And a couple more times. And then bring your little wings up. Bring your little wings out to your sides. Now you've got to shake all that muck off. Shake it off. Add some breath. So breathe into one side and breathe out to the other side. And maybe practice your little tiny bird sound. Make whatever your little bird sound is. Shake it all up. And then slow your little wings down, and we're going to stretch them even more. So reach up, come up onto your knees, stretch up really high, and then reach down and stretch out in your little nest. You're feeling the nest for the first time, and breathe in and come up. Stretch up really, really high. Look back and see that sun for the first time, and breathe out and come down and touch that nest. And one more time, breathe in and touch that. And breathe out and come down. And then sit back once more like you're in your little shell. It's so much work. Take a rest. And imagine what colors you're turning into, what color your feathers are. And then slowly sit up. And imagine scooping up that color and pat it on your head. And then rub it on your body. Rub it on your wings, all over your body, especially your belly. And rub it all down your little legs, your little bird feet. And then pat some extra pattern on it all over. And scoop up some last little color and rub it on your feet. And tap some on your forehead. And then rub some on your nose. great big bird. So bring your hands to the edge of your nest and lift your little bottom up and then come all the way up to standing. You're going to be a big bird now. Stretch those wings. And we're going to start to practice flying. So come up on your toes, lift your wings up. And breathe out and come back down. Breathe in and lift up. Breathe out and come back down. Now if you like, you're brave and strong, which I know you are, you can leave the edge of your nest and you can fly anywhere you want. But as soon as I ring the bell, make sure you come back to your spot. So feel free to fly around. Get creative with how you fly through the space. Fly anywhere you want. And if you decide you want to fly a little faster, just be mindful of the other birds. Remember, birds don't bump into each other. They're really aware of their space. Chin a little bit and imagine you're tucking into your nest. Keep breathing. If you need to look down at the floor, or if you like, close your eyes. Next time you breathe in, unfold your arms and your legs. Fold the other leg over and the opposite arm on top and tuck inside your nest. So we're going to pass out some feathers. We're going to pass a bag, and we're going to ask you to just take a feather out of the bag and pass it around. We'll explain what we're going to do. Go around. So the feather that you're about to receive is a real feather. It's a turkey feather. And this is a feather that's not always noticed because it's from the underside. Feather that, even though it's not noticed, it's one of the most important parts because it gives structure to the bird's body. And in our case today, this feather is going to represent that inside part of you that other people don't see, but that you know is there, and sometimes forget. So when you get your feather, I want you to bring it thumb and finger of the right hand, and then cup your right hand in your left hand, and then bring your two thumbs to touch. Hold that feather so that it's just a few inches from your mouth, but your arms are relaxed. Take a moment to look at that feather. And although it kind of flows freely, it's also very strong. So as you hold that feather, let your focus draw closer and closer to that feather. Look at the feather and notice its shape. Notice any parts of it that are still or moving. And then begin to experiment with your breath, creating a small hole through your lips. Let a slow, steady breath flow out. And see if you can move the little soft parts of the feather. Watch the feather as you breathe on it. Notice how you feel. See if you can slow your breath down a little more. Now move your breath hard and fast at the top part of the feather and see if you can bend that part of the feather. Notice if this breath feels any different. Sometimes, in order to settle down and calm, you want to build up some energy. Notice if this feels more energetic or somehow different. And then once more, slow your breath down. Blow on the soft parts of the feather. You may notice you want to yawn, getting that nice deep breath. Let yourself yawn and then come back to blowing slow and then fast. Feel the difference. And then take another moment to breathe slowly. And let your breath return through to your nose. And take a moment, close your eyes. And as you close your eyes, allow a color to appear in your mind. Allow a color to appear in that little screen behind your eyes. It may not be one color, it may be more than one, or a shade you've never been able to know the name of. See that color, and then slowly create a small opening in your lips and blow that color onto your feather. Blow that color through all the little pieces, from the lower part to the top part, filling your feather with color. As your feather becomes covered in that color, this is an outward expression of your creativity. Creating the color on the inside, bringing it out in your own creative way. Then you can open your eyes. Set your feather down for a moment and take a moment to notice how you feel. And now we're going to pass around another feather. This feather comes from a different kind of bird. Take a look at it and see if you notice any difference. Hold that feather. Look at it. You can touch it.
So we're going to use this feather as our painting feather. This is where hopefully you just sort of calmed and balanced your mind. And now this outside strong feather is going to help us create something today. We're going to pretend that this feather is a paintbrush. We're going to come around right now. You're getting some water. You're going to have to share the paints because sharing is caring. So move to somewhere where you're near a set of paints. Find a new friend, but take your feather with you. You can actually already dip your feather in the water if you have some water near you. Sure. Here's some water. And I'm gonna ask you, we're also just gonna pass around a piece of paper right now, so hold tight with your feathers. So while we continue to hand out these papers, if you've gotten your piece of paper, go ahead and start by just exploring putting some paint on your feather. Now these are duck feathers. They're not meant to absorb water, right? Ducks like to swim. So there might be a little bit of frustration, right? Sometimes we feel frustration. Our students may feel frustration, right? It may be a little hard to get water to stick on there. Work through that, right? Work through that with some patience. You may want to experiment pouring some of the water directly onto the paint or directly onto your paper. But really try to make a connection with that outer feather. This is an extension of your own creativity, your own inner wisdom. It's coming from that place that we just balanced. And don't forget to breathe, right? Just as you just practiced breathing onto your feather, breathe with your feather. Let your breath guide the feather, and the feather sort of guide that paint. Maybe you're painting with that color that you just painted all over your little bird feathers, right? You may want to try painting with the tip of your feather. See how that feels. Every few minutes and make sure that you're breathing with that feather, that feather is an extension of how you feel inside in this moment. Pause to notice your sense of connection with what you're creating. feather, and your feather guide your feet. Always coming back to that breath to center and focus you. Until you feel you're finished. Feel free to pause and take a nice, deep breath to appreciate what you've done so far and reflect on how you're connecting with what you're creating, what your feather and your inner creativity are capable of doing together. Our bird feathers to fly away. So take your feather, maybe dry it off a little bit on your palette. Perhaps just land it very softly either next to your painting or on top of it. Maybe it wants to rest there. Take a really deep breath in, sigh it out. Eyes on your painting and take a few slow, deep breaths, appreciating what you just created. take a moment to consider all you've just done. Notice how your body is feeling right now. Take one more deep breath. Appreciate all that your delicate inner feathers have done to bring you to this moment, and what your strong, capable feathers have done to bring you to this moment. We're going to ask you to go ahead and really reflect on what you've done on that piece of paper that we just placed next to you. If you have a pen or a pencil, that's great. If not, perhaps you could borrow one from a friend. And write your reflections on this paper. Let this help guide your reflections and really harness this moment that you just spent with your inner wisdom and your creativity. We also have some pens if anybody needs one.
Into the body, issues or other sensitivities, developmental imbalances, a lot of times that tapping really helps you. Okay, yeah, I know where I am. So we tapped our colors and our patterns on us. So that first part, that yoga, as you heard from Dr. Maddie this morning, you know, it's really important to get the body moving to build the brain connection. And so you want to have that movement at the beginning. So we did the movement, and then we started to settle in. We used the same theme of the birds, the feathers, the idea of taking flight, of being soft but strong, and then carried that into the meditation. We introduced the feathers as the layers of you, the soft inside feathers, the outside strong feathers, knowing that all of the feathers were important to that bird. And with the feather meditation, let you experiment with the breath in how you control your own energy levels, knowing when you need to raise it up or lower it down. And then once we brought you from the body to the breath, we were able to bring you a little bit farther down into that space of creativity, inviting you to start to express color, to see color, to express color, and then culminate, bring out the inner wisdom in the form of the painting that you did.
Sure. And the painting really could take any form, right? This isn't just with a feather and just with watercolors. We chose those specifically because they have a very calming effect. I've had a lot of great success using this with students who have a lot of anxiety and don't like to get particularly messy. Sometimes you can just do it with water. There doesn't even need to be paint present. But it also sort of can be done with anything you do in school, right? So this sort of series of yoga can be a really nice thing to do before a test or before a big project or writing a paper or an essay to really help focus students and get their minds kind of connected, that left and right brain. So for tasks that they need to be creative, whether it's making artwork or whether it's creative writing or anything like that, it really helps them to sort of settle in and have that really nice focus that they need to have and struggle having sometimes in the classroom.
we'd like to invite you guys to share with us how that experience was for you. Does anybody have any thoughts? Any surprises for you? No? Yeah. So for those of you who might not have heard, in the back, she said she just disappeared. She went to another place. A good place. Phew. Anybody else? Yeah.
The reminder to breathe while we were painting, it's like, duh. You know, you're in a tough yoga pose, you stop breathing because you're concentrating. You're in a tough situation, you stop breathing. Well, I couldn't get any paint on that feather, so I stopped breathing. And as soon as you said, and remember to breathe, I'm like, oh, of course. And all of a sudden, painting was very calming again.
That was also slightly emotional. Once we sort of started, I'm cutting in and out. You know,
So for those of you who didn't hear this come in, it was, and I'm hoping paraphrasing properly, the exercise, the yoga, and the activities before the painting allowed her to let go of expectations and sort of freed her to go into a really creative space and just move more freely with the painting. It's beautiful. Yeah, that's another sensory input that you want to kind of be careful of, because a lot of times you go into classrooms and, you know, there's this really intense music playing, and then we're saying, calm down, kids, and we're yelling at them with this big music playing. And so you're right, it's helpful to notice that.
Oh, okay. I do a lot of art already in my yoga classes, and besides it being calming and fun, what's a good quick answer for a studio owner or a parent or a teacher that says, why are you doing?
So I think for us, the quick answer is creativity is the key to presenting yourself, to feeling yourself, and to being yourself. So the art and the yoga takes you to that creative space. And that was the whole purpose for us of doing this exercise, was to let you know that you can go to that creative space pretty simply, pretty quickly, and your students can too. Is that? I don't know.
sorry, I don't know what's going on here. It's still on. It has a lot to do with inspiring confidence in students.
Yes.
I think that's what it is for me, and you sort of articulated that a little bit as well with, you know, all of a sudden your judgments are gone, and when that happens, it frees students up to learn, to be creative, but to really sort of take in their environment in a non-competitive, non-judgmental way of themselves. They can sort of be very successful at this activity.
We're actually going to give you guys a handout, and it's going to be up here on the stage, so feel free to come and get one. And it lists all these pieces that you can probably take and put together in whatever way you want. It's got the breathing on it, the feather meditation, it's got some other poses that are centering in nature. But I think just the idea of providing the opportunity to slowly move inward in whatever your theme is. I think we're running out of time. And unknown answers. The watercolors are from Michael's Art Supply. Gotta love them.
And the paper also. It's watercolor paper. You want to make sure when you're doing watercolors, actually you want to really make sure you use the watercolor paper. It creates a really sensory experience. If you talk to us after, I'll give you the playlist if anybody wants the playlist. And I do want to invite you really, really quickly, because I know we're running out of time, but we want to close up
We feel very strongly that it's just as important to open an experience as to close it. So I'm going to invite you to put all your papers down for a moment and find your feather if you'd like. This feather is for you to take with you. We want you to take it with you as a reminder of your power to call on your own inner wisdom anytime. It's always there. So feel free to hold that feather once more in front of your hand, in front of your mouth, or just close your eyes. Tune into your breath. Feel your inhalation and your exhalation. If you'd like, you can part the lips and slowly blow out, maybe blowing those little feather pieces, or imagining the feather moving. Let your breath slow down. Focus on your exhale. Know that no matter how full your head gets of thoughts and feelings, you can bring yourself to a place of peace and calm with your breath. Take another big breath in and sigh it out, let it go. And then placing your feather on the floor, bring your arms up out to the sides. Take a big breath in, fill up with breath. As you exhale, bring your hands down in front of your heart. Feel the left and right sides of your body and mind coming together in unity in that center space. And then thank yourself for doing your best. And if you'd like, look around at everybody else and send them a little smile and nod, a wink. Thank them for their contributions to your experience. And have a great rest of your night. Don't forget your handouts.